Hey everybody, this is Matthew with Forging Your Legend, where we help people turn their toughest battles into their greatest legends. Today I want to talk to you about one of the big mental traps that I see people get into when they're trying to heal or transform. This is especially true for people with limbic dysfunction. And that is the trap of comparing themselves now to where they were in the past, or comparing their life now to where it was before. And this is an understandable thing for people to do because often it was a fairly shocking drop from wherever they were to where they are now. A lot of people were riding high and then bam, they get to the lowest point of their lives. And so sometimes people are actually just looping in a trauma response. But the bottom line here to understand is the more you think and talk about what it used to be like and how did this happen and how did it get so bad, the more you're going to fuel the old pathways that are going to keep you stuck. You need to put your attention on what you can do now. And for some people, it's just enough to hear that and say, okay, I'm moving on. You accept you can't change the past. It doesn't mean accepting it's going to be this way forever. Quite the contrary. It's letting go of the past so you can actually put your energy where it will make an impact. For some people, it's going to take more than a simple recognition, and they're going to need more powerful, structured, intentional methods. And I can help you with that if you need help with that. But the other thing to understand about this is often the desire to look at the past comes from a desire to understand how something happened. And that can be a healthy thing. We actually have an innate need to understand ourselves and our story, and putting together a coherent narrative is often part of the healing process. But oftentimes people do that too much, and they're just looping in it when they have answers and their brain's just not accepting it. Or they're just frankly never going to find an answer that suits them because they're not even going to be able to recognize the answers due to the trauma response. So at that point, you just have to move on. Now, a note on who's responsible and who's to blame. I see this with people a lot. You know, they want to see, was it my fault? Was it my parents' fault? Was it the doctor's fault? Was it society's fault? And we can sit here and actually analyze, how did this come to be? And sometimes we do that. Sometimes that's useful. But at the end of the day, it's probably more useful to recognize who can make a difference now. Because there were probably a lot of factors that played into it. I'll give you a good story that illustrates this. Imagine you're riding a bus, and the bus driver is a diabetic who forgot to take his insulin, and he goes into unconsciousness. And the bus is about to go off the road, crash into the sidewalk. You are right behind the driver, and you have about 5 seconds to take action to stop disaster from happening. Now, are you going to sit there and ask who's to blame? Is it society because maybe he couldn't afford his insulin? Is it his doctor for not making him realize how important it is to take his insulin? Is it his own fault because he should know he's responsible for his own life? It's all kind of irrelevant. You can sort that out later when the dust is settled and everybody's okay, and it makes sense to look back and figure out what went wrong. But in the moment, you've just got to figure out, how can I fix this? How can I stop disaster from happening? And so you focus on, okay, who's going to be the one who can make a change here? And you are the one who can. In the vast, vast, vast majority of cases, you are the one who's going to make the most impact. No matter how small you believe your circle of influence is, no matter how little you believe you can do, you're the one who's going to be able to make a difference here. So that's what I want you to focus on. If you found this helpful, I'd encourage you to give it a like, share it, follow me, subscribe, and you can go to forgingyourlegend.com if you want to learn more. Thanks so much, and make it an amazing day.